Namaste everyone. Happy Navratri to all of you on the special occasion of Ramnavmi. I welcome you all on behalf of Hindu Center of Atlanta for the special series on Chaitra Navratra or Vasanti Navratra. Acharya Brahmdevji has joined us from Mauritius. Acharya will help us to understand the real meaning of Ramnavmi by taking the examples from the life of Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra ji. Acharya will explain today the teachings of Ramayana for the human life. Acharya has an inclusive educational background in science, banking, University of Mauritius, management, AB UK, and Darshanacharya Vedic philosophy, Darshan Yoga Mahavidyalaya, Gujarat, and a diverse career in financial services, industry, and at RSFA Mauritius. Acharya has been affiliated with different organizations like Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple, Arya Pratinidhi Sabha America, and Hindu Center of Atlanta. He is author of numerous insightful articles on Vedic philosophy and contemporary issues in English and French. Over to Acharya.
Om. Namaste, everybody. Let's bring our mind to focus. Sit down straight, close the eyes gently, deep inhale and exhale. And while exhaling, we are going to chant the universal sound Om, focusing on the vibrations moving throughout the body during the chanting. Then Guru Mantra, Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted for the induction into learning process, and we'll do the closing session on the Ramnavmi series of today. Deep inhale and exhale. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Join the palms together, rub them gently, slowly open the eyes below the palms. So welcome to the sessions of on Ramnavmi. Ramnavmi comes as the birthday anniversary of Sri Ram. And remember, it's also the birthday of Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. They were born within hours of interval to the Frey mothers. But Ram stands out of the crowd because of his character. The Ramayana, written by sage Valmiki, is one of the greatest reports of human history, or the history of humanity itself. which we refer to as itihas, and often referred to as an epic. It's not just a story, it's an educational medium in our learning process, especially as regards to turning ourselves into real human beings, away from the concept of social animals to social beings. And this is in line with Manurbhava Daivam Janam in the Vedas. Be human in thoughts, in words, and in deeds. Be human in character, in actions, and in nature. Sri Ram stands out of the crowd because the various descriptions in the Ramayana of Valmiki refers to Sri Ram as Narottam, which is what we know in the common jargon or language as Purushottam. The ideal son, the ideal father, the ideal brother, the ideal friend, the ideal leader, the ideal commander-in-chief, the ideal ruler. And the relationships are there. If we see the relationship between Bharat and Kaushalya, it's the ideal relationship between spouses. Between Ram and Sita is the same. Between Ram, Dashrath and Kaushalya is the relationship, the ideal relationship of son, father, and mother. So it goes like that. If we want to look at a role model at each and every step of our life, we can take it there. And we know values are best taught through stories. There's no historical data to prove that, but I think all the cultures throughout the world have it. The Vedic Hindu culture has the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and to a lesser known extent, we know the Panchatantra stories, the Hitopdesh stories. Likewise, we have the Aesop fables and the stories by La Fontaine in French, which is Fable de La Fontaine. And these values have proved their worth across cultures and civilizations. Illiterate probably by our modern thinking, but our ancestors did not fail in their duty by transmitting the values which enabled us to become humane in thoughts, in words, and in our deeds. So it's for us now to legate those values. And one of the ways of doing that is probably when we sit down for dinner, we can take one episode or one event in the life of Sri Ram and discuss that during dinner. That's one way of going through the informal education process. Because remember, the values that we want to teach to our children are best taught when we lead by example, walk the talk, but at least it has to be related to them and they can see that in our lives. The life of Sri Ram is applying dharma in karma. Applying dharma in karma, it starts with, as I said during the first session, with the Putreshti Yaj, laying the foundations, just as the farmer plows the land, clear the land, plows the land, look for the best seeds, nurture the seeds to get the best of crops. That was the process to get the best of kids. Through the Putreshti Yaj, under the guidance of the rishis and also taking into consideration our ahara, vichar, and vyavahara. Ahara, food and drinks, which are our thoughts, which eventually transcends into actions, and then our vyavahara, our behavior. There's not the slightest sign of disappointment in the face of Sri Ram at the highest peak when he was announced to be the king, and the next moment he was handed over an exile of 14 years. The journey in the forest represents a cruise that we all have to take into the mysterious and unknown future in our life, while at the same time trying to discover our inner self and relating the inner self to whatever we are doing. Entering into the forest is only a symbol of treading on the path of spirituality as spiritual reality in our day-to-day life. Remember, we are used to a comfort zone in our life. And the problem is that when we try to relate our life to the ideals which we learn from Sri Ram, we have the fear that if we start treading on the values, can we continue our life on the same footing that we are currently leading? That's a big question mark. And that question mark is the mysterious, the unknown, as good as Sri Ram treading into the forests. We'll find multitude facets of our personality, which we'll discover that we have to shed off to become the real human being that is within us. And those probably would be referred to as the dangerous animals that we will confront when we go into an unknown wood forest. If we go into more details, the Ramayana teaches us sensible strategies, telling us to consider decisions that we take during the course of our life not only affects us, but affect all those in our immediate surroundings. Just as dropping a stone in a bucket of water creates ripples. So whatever we do, there's the ripple effect on our relatives, on our friends, on our family, and on the world at large. So we need to consider each and every step of our life. And then we'll be creating a healthy situation for ourselves, for our family, and for the betterment of the world. Then it shows also to us a healthy detachment is beneficial. Sri Ram had forgotten everything just to go to the forest. It's not a question that we also have to leave our life and go to the forest. No. It's a question of analyzing the unknown in our life and the knowns also. Shed the wolves out of our life and probably bring the, as we say, the doves of peace. Kill the Ravan and the Rakshasas in our life and bring the light that the life of Sri Ram teaches us. When we look at several of the events in the life of Sri Ram, it also gives us the opportunity to always stand out of the box, look at the problems, and then take the solutions. That would be in our best interest and also in the interest of the common good, where then selfishness will start subsiding in our life to give way to more benevolent and beneficial actions. It also teaches us about civilized behavior. Civilized behavior in the sense that when Keikei gives what are the orders of Dashrath to Sri Ram, Ram bears no grudge for her. When Lakshman starts telling things wrongly about Keikei, Ram stops him. And even the last phase, when Ram emerges as victorious over Ravan, the civilized behavior is revealed there at the climax. Unlike modern warfare, where the victor takes a perverse pleasure in enduring further harm to the vanquished. Here, once the enemy has fallen, the enmity cease. And Ravan is being dealt with due honor for his cremation. So in brief, the Ramayana tells us, kill the Rakshasas or the evil tendencies within us. That's the permanent war within us. And if we manage to do that, one step at a time, we'll also become what sage Valmiki describes Ram as Purushottam or Narottam, the highest among human beings, or Arya Putra, which is another word Valmiki refers to Sri Ram. And remember, Sita also, whenever she is addressing Sri Ram, she refers to her as Arya. So can we just take those inspirations in our life, mold our character, mold our actions, mold our temperament, gun karma sabhav? Can we nurture the spirit of sacrifice for the common good and be sources of inspirations for people around us? Remember, Ram was immortal. And the story is now being told 1 million years more or more till today, and will continue to be so. So it just teaches us, if we try to make the inner journey and the outer journey both at the same time, not at different times, the inner journey and the outer journey works in our life, that will make us, or that will ignite within us the spark of the divinity that resides within us. As conclusion, I will repeat what I said. The values of the Ramayana are things that we, if imbibe in our life, will become the role models. And once we become the role models, there will be little to speak about or to give the commands. Rather, people will just follow. Just as in the case of the Ramayana, we see the people of Ayodhya following Sri Ram, and they insist to go with him when he's going to exile, but he shuns their request. He shuts down their request and saying, no, the exile order is for me, not for the people of Ayodhya. See how he commands the forest dwellers, the Vanaras, and when he enters Lanka and emerges as victorious, how the people of Lanka greets him. Up to the point that after crowning Vibhishan, he's asked to stay back in Lanka, but he has to go back. So these are the beauties of the Ramayana, and we can also make our life as beautiful and as noble as Sri Ram. I just hope these 9 sessions have been able to unfold some of the characteristics, and one step at a time will surely reach our destination. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharyaji. Acharyaji was giving a talk on last 9 days, and today was the concluding session for the special series of Ramnavmi. Acharyaji explained us very well in detail of various events of Ramayana, and help us understand that how can we implement all those righteous things learning from Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra Ji to our life. Just for a reminder, if you want to connect with us, you can connect on YouTube at Hindu Center of Atlanta, or you can send us the email at hinducenterofatlanta@gmail.com, or on the Facebook page, Hindu Center of Atlanta. You can send the message from there also. You can connect with us. At last, thank you all for joining us and learning from the Ramayana. Acharya will conclude with the Om Jap.
One last word. There are about over 4,500 versions of the Ramayana. The source is the Valmiki Ramayana, to which I referred throughout. And the various interpretations that may be given to the life of Sri Ram. Remember, let's make the best out of the things. Each and everybody will have his own or her own interpretation. But if we go to the essence and make the best out of them, we'll always emerge as the pearl coming from the bottoms of the seas. Om Jap. Om. Namaste, everybody. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you, Acharya.